Hi, we're trading up, and today's conversation starter is what is tokenization? First of all, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and I always encourage you to do your own research. Well, tokenization is an interesting topic when it comes to cryptocurrency, and I can't wait to get into more detail. First of all, tokenization. It's the process of taking a real world asset, whether it be physical or digital, and converting its ownership rights into a digital token on a blockchain. These tokens act as digital representations of the asset. Examples of assets that can be tokenized include real estate, stocks or bonds, artwork or collectibles, gold, commodities, even intellectual property, and even revenue streams like royalties. If you tokenize a $1 million building, you could issue 1 million tokens, each representing a tiny share of that building. Now let's talk a little bit about the benefits of tokenization. Why would we want to tokenize, or why is there this discussion of tokenization? First of all, there is fractional ownership. Tokenization lets people buy fractions of expensive assets. You don't need $1 million to invest in a building. You can buy $100 worth instead. This democratizes access to investment opportunities. It makes them more accessible. Okay, the second benefit of tokenization is liquidity. Traditional assets such as real estate, private equity, art, they are hard to buy or sell quickly. Well, tokenization can create a 24/7 global market, making it easier to find buyers and sellers. Let's take a look at transparency. Since tokens live on a blockchain, ownership is provable. Transfers are trackable, and fraud is harder to occur. This adds trust and reduces the need for intermediaries. There's also faster and cheaper transactions. That's another benefit of tokenization. Blockchain removes middlemen such as brokers, banks, and escrow services. When you remove the middlemen, this reduces fees, paperwork, and delays. So transactions can settle in minutes instead of days or weeks. Another benefit of tokenization is programmability. Tokens can have built in rules, such as automatic dividend distribution, royalty payments to creators, and you can also program compliance. For example, restricting transfers to verified users. Smart contracts add automation and reduce administrative work. All right. Another benefit of tokenization includes global accessibility. Anyone with internet access can invest. There are no geographic restrictions. This opens new markets and increases the pool of potential investors. That's awesome. Another benefit of tokenization is improved security. Tokenization systems can provide encryption, secure ownership records, as well as immutable audit trails. This reduces the risk of tampering or ownership disputes. So, in simple terms, tokenization turns assets into digital pieces, making it easier to buy, easier to sell, easier to own and easier to verify. It makes real world assets behave more like cryptocurrencies, which are liquid, tradable, and divisible. Let's look at some examples. In real estate, tokenization does matter. Real estate is often expensive and illiquid, and buying property typically requires large capital and complicated legal processes. Tokenization allows fractional investments in real estate, potentially lowering the barrier to entry and increasing liquidity. How about for gold? Gold is a historically stable store of value, but traditional ownership often requires physical storage and high minimum investments. Gold tokenization makes gold accessible in fractional amounts, easier to buy and sell, and makes it tradable globally. And how about for real world assets? Real world assets that are tokenized on a blockchain. By bridging traditional finance with blockchain infrastructure, real world asset tokenization could reshape how people invest in everything from real estate to private funds, making previously exclusive opportunities available to more people. Wow. So there seems to be a lot of benefits to tokenization. And another example is something that you might see on television, like on CNBC or some of the money channels. Large financial institutions like BlackRock and JP Morgan are actively tokenizing assets right now, particularly US treasuries and money market funds. So there is a huge use case for tokenization, and tokenization is now. There's going to be more tokenization of assets in the future, but tokenization is happening right now. So that's why we're discussing these kinds of topics, especially in the cryptocurrency field, so that we can be prepared and we won't be surprised. So until next time, take care.